How much of the illness, chronic illness, do you think is preventable just with diet and lifestyle alone? How much of it's brought on?
It comes out to be about 80%. So 80% of chronic lifestyle diseases, about 80% preventable. A little more, so it's really more like 90% when it comes to something like heart disease, and it's less when it comes to stroke, but it all averages out to be about 80% is a good kind of average figure.
How do we fit in the Western, as far as the Western world versus the global world? Are we worse off than other people, in metabolic?
Oh, yeah, no, we're, our life expectancy is about down to about 39th in terms of countries in the world. So people in Slovenia, for example, live longer than Americans. And part of it's our obesity epidemic. Part of it is our healthcare system, standard American diet. Unfortunately now, though, we are exporting our diet. We are this kind of Kentucky Fried Chickenization of the rest of the world. And so then everyone can have the same, American diseases that we have. And so a place like, Okinawa, Japan, which used to have the second longest living population in the world, now has more KFCs than anywhere else. And they have actually the most obese prefect of all of Japan. And so there's a big push to eat the Okinawan diet in Okinawa as well now. So it's really unfortunate.
And they traditionally have had very good longevity rates and also, clean colons and everything like that. But you said that there was something about stomach cancer, a weird anomaly of stomach cancer in Japan. Yeah.
So Japan and in Korea have some of the highest stomach cancer rates in the world, and it's because they're eating exceedingly high salt food. So salt doesn't just increase blood pressure, but increases stomach cancer risk. So they eat these fermented, highly salted vegetables and fish that you can actually do experiments where you do biopsies. And literally within a few days, you can see the kind of inflammation that would lead to the precancerous changes that end up causing stomach cancer. So yes, Japan still has, much lower breast cancer rates and prostate cancer rates, but higher stomach cancer rates. When they move to the U.S., their breast and prostate cancer rates shoot up, but their stomach cancer rates drop because they're eating some of these less, eating less of these traditional highly salted foods.
Interesting. I know from a neighbor who lived in Japan, they say they call everybody in the West, Germans and Americans alike, they call us butter stinkers.
Well, it's interesting reading the Japanese medical literature. They have all sorts of, they have like 30 different terms for like gastrointestinal distress. It's not just like my tummy hurts. No, they have 30 different ways to describe your tummy hurts. And they have all these different names for different body odors. So there's something called kiriashu, I believe, which is the smell of old people. Like old people get this smell. And there's these omega-7 fats that are excreted on their skin and bacteria turn it. And so we actually do get a smell with old age, but leave it to the Japanese to actually come up with a word for it. They're very expressive when it comes to bodily states.
Yeah, I would say that there are a medley or a spectrum of, human odors that we could say, well, that's a little bit like a gyro today. Or
there we go.
Yeah, but not to be too gross.